Good morning, everybody. My name is Caudal from Elico Corp. I'm an Odoo Gold partner in Shanghai. And I'm going to present you today the development that we have done with the Odoo Community Association in order to manage the business requirement for customers inside the company. So I've been working quite a long time now in Odoo, 7 years. And I've been working a lot as well with the Odoo Community Association with quite some experience in project management and distribution, logistics, manufacturing in general. We use the module that you're going to see now in production for about 2 years. And the idea is to present you why we did it and how we did it. Currently, in the service industry, when you have to visit a customer, you have to gather a lot of information from their side. What do they want? Eventually, they want some budget, some workload. You will need to prepare the plan for the project and so on. This information many times comes in an inconsistent and unharmonized way. You receive an email, you might receive a Skype request, you might receive a lot of information, even a phone call. So this information is not, doesn't arrive in a standard way. That's one thing. The second thing is to manage the scope and, let's say, input the scope of a project or a task that you have to do in Odoo, along with the estimation that you might need for this. Odoo is not so convenient. There are some ways, but in the end, we couldn't find the suitable way. This is why, in the end, for our customers, we opted to start a new project and input the information in our systems with the modules of the business requirement. We started this in V6, actually, with the first version, and then we made it evolved fully operational in V8, and then we just migrated it to V10, and we will migrate it very soon to V11. It's been developed using the Odoo Community Association standard development, let's say development standards, including unit tests, demo data, and it's fully operational right now. It's hosted in the OCA as well, and it's fully open source. Basically, what's the situation? Odoo does well the project management and the sales part. Where we had the difficulty was to link actually both the sales and the project management. So that's where the business requirement here comes, where we gather the information about the scope. We will gather the information about the deliverables that we might send to the customer at the end of the project. And of course, how much time or what do we have to do or, let's say, purchase, procure in order to deliver. And once we have that, we can, by a wizard, create the sales quotations for the customers. We can, by a wizard, create the project and the task. And what's more important is that now we can link directly the estimation that we had initially in the business requirement with the timesheets that we will input in the system. So in the end, we can compare what was the estimation originally given and the time actually spent. Who can use or who is using business requirement? I would say almost anybody. You can use it for like trading company that you have to develop a new product that you will have to deliver and to manufacture. You have to gather the different business requirements, what you're going to deliver, how you're going to do it. It could be consultancy business, could be construction business. Basically, any, let's say, company that has to gather information from the customer and, let's say, put it in a standard way would be able to use this kind of modules. Objective is the data collection. Is the link between the sales, the project, and the business requirements. Something else, like in the business requirement, we have a workflow management. So we can approve, a manager can approve the scope and can approve the estimation. So you are sure that when you validate the business requirement, you have a scope which is well-defined, and you have an estimation which is well-defined as well. And in the end, what will be important is that you can control the estimation at the end, comparing what you have in the business requirement and what you actually did in the timesheets. So we have split the module in let's say the set of modules in multiple modules in order to be able to fit the different needs of the potential users with a main, let's say, modules for the business requirement, and then modules for the deliverables, for the reports, for the cost control, and eventually as well for the different wizard that might be useful. That means as well that contributions are welcome. That if at some point you need to add a new wizard, or you need to add issues, for example, related to business requirement, or you need to add some additional fields, well, it's extensible like any module in Odoo. After 2 years, actually, we're very happy with what we have. We have like more than 1,500 now business requirements recorded in our system, and you have really the customer is very happy because he receives now a formatted way of the information, and what's important too, the customer is happy and we are happy because we have improved a lot the way we control the project and how we do it. So let's check a little bit how it works in practice. Okay, we have a new application. So basically, if I come here, you have multiple modules, but basically you have about 10 modules, most important modules that you can install according to your needs. Once you have that, so here I've got my demo data, just to show you, for example, one example of a demo data, like I can take the website here. I can have my, I can have my customer story here displayed with whatever you need to explain. For example, I need to do a website, I need to use this technology, I need a web page, like one for the content, one for the user form, etc., etc. You might have a scenario, gap, depending on how you manage the company, and the test case. So all this information you gather at the beginning of your project. That's the scope and what you might, how you're going to validate the business requirement. In the end, what's more important is you will have deliverable. What are you going to deliver to your customers in the end for him to pay you? What is he going to pay? So you can add deliverables in this one. So for example, here we deliver a website, okay? Customer doesn't care how you do it. What he wants is a website at the end of the process. Where you care is actually for you, what are the resources that you're gonna need to deliver the website, okay? And that's your internal kitchen, is what you are gonna have to do to be able to deliver the final product. And here, for example, for the website, I need a server. I will need to buy templates, and of course, I will probably need some resources like a developer or a designer to prepare the different task and output. So this is an example that was existing, but I can show you create a new business requirement. You can select the project that you will link it. So it's easy for you to have one particular project with multiple business requirements, because actually you never have only one business requirement for if you have a big project, you will have to handle phases or sub-business requirements. You can actually link the business requirement with the parenting, so you can have a fairly complex structure to define and divide the different tasks that you might have to do in the process. You might have a WBS, you might have a category, let's say it's an infra task, and I can here input the requirements for the scope. Okay, and so on and so on. Once I have that, I can decide my deliverables, create a new deliverable, and for example, I will, I think I might have, for example, yeah, in this case, a gap analysis. Gap analysis, and I will add, if necessary, some services. Consultant is going to work 24 hours. So here I will say I will deliver 24 hours, and I can save. But I could say as well that to deliver those 24 hours, maybe I need some extra task from another developer for 8 hours, and so on. When I come here, I've got my deliverables, and I've got then my resources. For that BR07, I can create a new deliverable. Let's say I will have a website design. And one thing I want to show you here is, you see, automatically, I have the possibility to have templates for the deliverables that adds automatically my default resource lines that I expect for this kind of deliverable. If I know that, for example, for gap analysis, I always need 3 days to do the gap analysis, then automatically I would say, okay, one gap analysis, and automatically here I would get all the resources that I would expect to do for the delivery. Okay, save. Well, now I've got my business requirement. I can print the business requirement report. So here there's not much in the details, but you have the main information, the customer story if necessary, and you might have the different deliverables that you will expect for it, and the resource lines that you might want to disclose to the customer or not. It depends on your policy. And that you can send directly to the customer for approval. Okay? Once it's approved, you might want to create actually a sales quotation based on the different deliverables that you might have for the business requirements. And we can do that because we can actually create a new sales quotation, a new a new opportunity. Didn't specify a customer, but okay. I can link it. Don't remember, it was like, I think it was this one. Save. And I can check here that I have some business requirements linked to the project. So I link my opportunity with a project, and automatically I will have listed all the business requirements linked to that project. And from there, I can simply create the quotation based on the business requirements. And automatically, the system will propose me what I have in all my business requirements in this project, and I will be able to prepare my sales quotation accordingly. If from here, so for example, you see the gap analysis is 738. Is from here, I come here. I think this is the one. Don't know. But I will change this one, doesn't matter. If I change it to 60 here, it's 960. Now I can just come back to my opportunity and update the existing quotation based on the negotiation I might have had with my customer. And automatically my quotation will, instead of 800 I had before, now it's 960. Okay. Okay. Last but not least is based on the, all right, here, the business requirement. You will be able to, no, not this one. Let's say this one. You can generate the project here directly from the business requirement based on the deliverables here, and you have one resource here for 8 hours. Well, you can generate the project, decide where to create the project and the task. Here I do it simple. And usually that's where it breaks. Or not. Yeah, that's good. And here I've got my project which has been created and the task, the corresponding task. Okay? Just a final word here before I switch to questions. Here on the business requirement, one of the things that you can have is the list of deliverables for all the business requirement all together. So you can easily here select a customer, for example, and switch, for example, to the BI view. And what's important here, you can calculate. You see, I will show it that way. You can pre-calculate gross profit when you do your business requirements, meaning that you expect to deliver 5,200 to the customer, so get paid 5,200, and you expect to spend around 2,200 for the task or maybe some procurement and so on, which makes that you might have an estimated gross profit for this work about that much money. Okay? So this is out of the box. If you input the deliverables and resource lines accordingly, then you would get that information right away. I don't have it installed here, but we have as well another module in V8 that we are going to port, which allows to compare the initial time from the business requirement and the timesheets that you have in the project. So you can actually compare the actual and the estimation, the original estimation. I think I'm on time now. Do you have questions?
Yes. When you update the quotation, I suppose that as usual in the chapter there are changes.
Sorry?
In the chapter are logged the update made to the quotation.
Yes, more or less standard. In this case, it would be standard Odoo. We have not changed that part. So that's the standard chapters login. We could improve. One of the things that we plan to do in the near future, once the V10 is fully stabilized, is to add versioning of the business requirements, so that we can have version 1, and then we discuss with the customer, we don't agree on this, or we change the scope and so on. We archive the current quotation, business requirement, and then we create a new one with the different modifications. So that will help on the follow-up for the negotiation.
Just out of curiosity, you said V10 fully stabilized and V11 is announced as well. V11. So how does it work? As a client, when can we choose a new version of a software? Should we wait for V10 to be stabilized, or should
V10 is like stabilized now. You can use it now. You can go to GitHub and use it. That's the one I'm showing you right now, and it's fully workable. If you want to, V11 probably we're gonna wait until probably beginning of 2018, so that the software is validated and that we have some, let's say, some knowledge about the version, so that we can migrate it.
Is there a report that's there that prints out all of the requirements for a particular project?
Yes, actually you can. It's all BI reports. Actually, you can from here, you can have some, so you have the Kanban view here that you can use. So from here you have all the projects actually you have here, so you can group by projects. Another way is for the deliverables here as well, you can easily group by project and get all the deliverables accordingly. Okay, and you can use the BI view as well if necessary.
And of course, it's for the community edition too.
Yeah, it's fully compatible both editions. No problem here. There's nothing specific here that would relate to the enterprise edition. More questions? No? Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.